Well, that was quick. Welcome back. Welcome back to Clownfish TV, guys. And we had a 12-hour TikTok ban, and everybody lost their collective poop.
It was funny. I mean, our kids, even though they came down and they're like, daughter's like, they shut it down, and it's not even the 20th yet. Because we're on the East Coast, and whatever the time shift was, they shut it down. And she was like, they were supposed to shut it down. I wanted to see when it went down. It's already down. And then I heard them talking, their kids talking about, what are we going to do with ourselves now? And I was like, you know.
So
I can't say read a book because they do read, but
so weird. And we're going to look at some of the reactions. We're going to look at James Charles, who's a YouTuber / TikToker in trouble again. For saying that he's like, okay, fine, make America great. Trump, just fix it. And Trump is, restoring service. And we're going to look at his statement. We're going to look at ByteDance's statement. We're going to speculate on what this could mean. But so for 12 hours, everybody lost their shit. There was arson.
12 hours, people got smarter.
Right. Well, there was arson. There was apparently some 19-year-old lit a congressperson's office on fire because that person voted in favor of the ban. I mean, it's just insane. Like, I mean, you want to talk about addiction. Like, you can't even go for 12 hours. There
is a big addiction to it. That's completely true. But then people brought up good points, too, that I don't disagree with. They're like, California isn't the place where it's at. We have North Carolina and other places, decimated from disasters. We have the healthcare industry and, Matt's and I right up, food being so expensive, inflation. And like, the only thing you guys could get together and agree on was ban TikTok, which,
I know, right?
Wrong.
I know. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about how everybody's like all worried about these content creators, but they didn't give a crap when Google changed their algorithm earlier this year, and they literally just like snapped the livelihoods of a ton of independent websites.
Millions of websites got completely decimated, and they're talking like
nobody cared.
Hundreds of thousands of jobs decimated, and no one did a thing about that.
Nobody did a thing about that. But TikTok, oh my God, guys, TikTok, which has only been around for like 5 or 6 years. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You will get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Help support the reef. Go out to clownfish-com. You can also support us here on YouTube by joining over on Locals, same content, whatever platform you're on. There we go. So Trump is restoring TikTok. Let's see. Here is the statement from TikTok, and then we'll read Trump's statement. The statement from TikTok says, in agreement with our service providers, TikTok is in the process of restoring service. We thank President Trump for providing the necessary clarity and assurance to our service providers that they will face no penalties providing TikTok to over 170 million Americans and Canadians too, and allowing over 7 million small businesses thrive. It's a strong stand for the First Amendment and against arbitrary censorship. We'll work with President Trump on a long-term solution that keeps TikTok in the U.S.
Okay, good. Hey, while we're talking about this, hey, Trump and Elon Musk and whoever else wants to hear it, why don't you look into the whole thing with the websites too? Because there's at least 7 million livelihoods got destroyed there too.
Yeah, so that's a big difference, and that's kind of because we know a lot of people we were affected by it, but thankfully we had backups. But
it was a very small part of what we did, but we were lucky.
We know some people that they worked their own websites for a decade, 2 decades, over 2 decades in some cases, and their livelihoods were literally snapped overnight by Google deciding they were going to switch everything to AI snippets and delist a bunch of websites, and a ton of people lost their jobs, and nobody bats an eye. Nobody's talking about it.
Nobody did anything about it.
CNET covered it once. They were talking about a guy who had a retro game video site, and it was like, he just had a kid, and he'd been doing it for 20 years, and his livelihood was just gone. But hey, TikTok. But I mean, I'm happy for you. I'm just saying it's weird.
I don't always agree with TikTok, but I think if TikTok, they're going to get mad about TikTok. There's other things. I mean, I'm sure it's better than Red Note. Yeah,
right. There was kind of a domino effect too, while we're at it, that Marvel Snap went down too.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that. There's a bunch of games that were associated. And I know our daughter uses something for editing, and it went down as well because these companies are owned by subsidiaries of ByteDance, and they're connected to them in some way. So what they didn't know was, they weren't told apparently, was when they shut down TikTok, they shut down anything ByteDance had some kind of tangent ownership of, and then they shut it all down. So people were completely caught unaware. places like Marvel Snap or some of the other things are editing places.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine like you're in the middle of playing Snap and then it just gets snapped?
It snapped. It literally was Marvel Snap, guys.
That's like
that was one game. There's several games, but yeah,
there were several that had any kind of like integration with ByteDance, and I'm very surprised that they haven't gone after Tencent yet or NetEase.
Yeah, see, that's what people are bringing up, and and I can kind of see what they're saying because they're like, if this is bad, why isn't this
right? And
I understand why they did it too. So I can honestly see both sides of it, but I'm also like, where is the line drawn? You know what I mean? Why? Seems very arbitrary.
It does. So this is what Trump released, apparently. And I've got some thoughts on this. And
yeah, I don't necessarily think that's the same thing you're thinking, but
no, we'll talk about it. This is all speculation, but this is what Trump said. God, I don't like his avatar. That's creepy. I'm asking companies not to let TikTok stay dark. I will issue an executive order on Monday to extend the period of time before the law's prohibitions take effect so that we can make a deal to protect our national security. The order will also confirm that there will be no liability for any company that helped keep TikTok from going dark before my order.
Right, because a lot of the different places in the App Store and stuff, they had to shut it down as well, or anything associated by ByteDance, so they would be fined.
Americans deserve to see our exciting inauguration on Monday, as well as other events and conversations. I would like the U.S. to have, this is where it gets interesting. I would like the U.S. to have a 50% ownership position in a joint venture. By doing this, we save TikTok, keep it in good hands, and allow it to stay up. Without U.S. approval, there is no TikTok. With our approval, it is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, maybe trillions.
Yeah, see, to me, this sounds like censorship, and we're going to own it so we can control it. And that's concerning. I mean, I get why they're saying it, but I still think that's a little overstep.
Well, here's where it gets better. Therefore, my initial thought is a joint venture between the current owners and or new owners, whereby the U.S. gets a 50% ownership in a joint venture set up between the U.S. and whichever purchase we choose.
Meaning whichever contract that's been turned in.
The government. So,
because they get to choose who they're going to work with.
Right. I know you're going to disagree with me.
It doesn't necessarily mean that is what I'm saying.
I am almost 100% convinced that what will potentially happen is Trump will give the contract to his good buddy Elon for his faithful service. And because ByteDance has already said that they would be willing to talk to Elon because the CCP has a relationship with him via Tesla.
But see, what this seems like to me is if the U.S. gets 50% joint ownership, then you can trust it because we own it. But they also could be using it just to, make deals with China. You know what I mean?
How is our government owning a social media platform, even half of it, any better than the CCP owning?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
You know what I'm saying?
It's concerning to me fact that, to keep it up, we have to own half of it. And I mean, I'm assuming because he's like, it's worth a lot of money. So I don't know if they're thinking that the money's going to help fund the government or what they're thinking. That's the way it kind of comes across. We're going to
get rid of the IRS and we're just going to charge you for TikTok.
Well, actually, they were joking. My mom was saying about it. Apparently, I didn't see it, so I can't verify. But they're talking about an ERS that was going to go externally out to other countries that are constantly being given stuff and being like, you're going to pay your fair share. And if they do that, along with the tariffs, they can help offset, taxes Americans pay. Again, it's all very nebulous ideas at this point in time, and we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work. But it is a very concerning thing to me when you're saying the government's going to own half a platform, because at that point, it's like, how can you promise free speech when the government owns it, and then they're going to be able to control what you can and can't talk about? And it's no more different, I think, than what when it was Twitter. Yeah. Because basically, let's be honest here. Yeah. They own half of it, in the roundabout way anyway.
They did.
And basically, I'm concerned it's going to be the same kind of situation. I get why. I understand the thought process. But I'm also like,
this could go down a whole nother rabbit hole.
This is why we used to be what we consider Democrats, because we were always against the censorship bullshit and stuff.
It used to be historically the Democrats were against the censorship.
We didn't change.
The goalpost keeps moving.
Yeah, we were the same as we were.
Anyway, Business Insider, they're talking about the backlash. Apparently, some celebrities were reacting. We have James Charles, who is the fashion influencer, who's always
he's a thing
stepping into it. But yeah, they're not happy. They're not happy with him because he said that
he's gonna join MAGA.
Yeah. Do you want to watch that?
Yeah, we can.
Let's watch this. This is very funny.
I gotta keep it real. I am crashing the fuck out right now. I don't know what to do.
No TikTok. Oh my God.
I've already opened and closed the app probably 6 times already just to keep getting the same stupid
Yeah, our
warning.
kids probably do that too.
Oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
this just feel, I can't, this is so dystopian.
Okay, wait, pause for a second.
Wait. You lived through the pandemic. You lived through the pandemic, and
There's people like in California who've lost everything.
they lost their
In
businesses.
North Carolina, stuff.
I mean, you want to talk about the most dystopian I felt during the pandemic was going to the grocery store at the very beginning when we didn't know what the hell was going on, and we're all wearing our gloves and our masks and basically you're in like a hazmat suit trying to go to the damn grocery store, and you don't know if anything's going to be, if they're going to run out of toilet paper, run out of meat, and everybody's staying away from each other. And if you hear somebody cough,
You're not allowed to even celebrate your holidays with your family.
we had to do iPad Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
They
were like going to crack down. People did it. That's dystopian. TikTok being shut down isn't. Now, to be fair, people like this person, that's their livelihood, so I can understand it. And to them, it probably is a very dystopian thing because they're probably panicked, like, what am I going to do? And that's relatable and understandable.
First time.
Yeah, I know. But it's relatable. But you have to remember, too, TikTok is super, super important, especially to Gen Z and Gen Alpha. This is how they communicate. Most of their slang is based off of TikToks or memes and things like that. That's where they're like, things come from. If they'll talk about, our kids will talk in memes. I'm like, I don't understand what the hell you're talking about, but they all understand it. It's their version of pop culture. It's what we grew up quoting TV shows. They quote this. So to them, it very much was dystopian. And I can understand them being super upset because that's their whole world and all they know.
First of all, I feel pathetic that I am freaking out like this over an application being unavailable on my phone. But also, like, this has been a massive part of our life for the last 6 years.
Yes.
And normally when something happens, I would get on TikTok and start complaining, and I can't even do that. I feel like disconnected. I feel cut off from the world and my community.
Yeah, probably.
This is crazy. This is fucking crazy. God, and I can't, like, now I'm rooting for Trump? Ew! God, like, make America fucking great again, I guess. God.
Yeah, so look, I know. But here's the thing is, like, again, that's what I'm trying to stress. People that are in that younger generation, this is what they know. This is how they communicate. Literally, their slang is derived, I can't even speak, derived from this TikToks and memes and things. And like I said, it's no different than we used to talk in pop culture references, back when we were kids over shows and music videos and things like that. It's the same thing. This is their version of it. So yeah, that is how they talk to each other. They don't know how to talk to each other in person anymore, it doesn't seem. And this is how they communicate. This is how they're connected. And it probably is very, very upsetting, dystopian, thought to them. And I'm more, and mental health wise, I was worried for these kids that they're going to go kill themselves or something over TikTok, because that might be the only way they talk to others. And you think I'm serious?
Yeah.
I'm completely serious.
I
as a mom and as a teacher, I am completely serious.
It'd be like us when the power went out, and you could watch TV, you could play.
Yeah, no, but we still could go outside and play or talk to our friends.
We still did that.
Especially after the pandemic, which you brought up earlier, people have lost the abilities to communicate more. And like I said, everything's tied up, especially for these younger generations, in references to TikToks, memes, that kind of stuff, because that's their pop culture. That's what they know. So of course it would seem very dystopian to them. And I understand what he's saying. And a lot of people are going to lose their life. We're going to lose their livelihood too, which I understand that as well.
People aren't very sympathetic.
No, they're mad about the Trump thing.
Yeah, nothing will make me support him. Also, why does losing an app make someone this upset? It's not that serious. Another person said humans did exist and were fine before TikTok. Yeah, fine after it.
Yeah.
Imagine publicly rooting for Trump. How are you a sassy bottom and a Republican? He's so embarrassing.
He didn't say he was a Republican. He just said, I'm supporting Trump in this version, because what the hell? He even said, I can't believe I'm saying this. But, and I don't like, I know too much about this person. I don't care about this person.
There's a whole thing.
I get where he's coming from, and I get why, there's 19-year-olds setting, I don't say it's a good thing that they're setting fire to people's buildings, but the mental health break the mental break, I can understand, because you don't understand how ingrained, and that's the dangerous thing about TikTok. And that's why we have such a sharp uptick in extremely far leftist ideology, I think, can be traced back to TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And our TikTok is very different from their TikTok.
Yeah. You wonder why.
Jeez, I wonder why. Actually, it would be good to have some American oversight and be like, yeah, you're not going to push.
I know, but I'm very concerned about that. That's concerning to me, because it's like, and then when you get other president, you can't talk about this anymore. And is he going to, you can't talk about that anymore on TikTok.
Yeah, whichever way the wind blows.
I don't like the very far leftist, ideals that we push on TikTok, but they have the right to do it. And I don't know if, depending who's in office, what's going to be allowed to be said and what's not, if it's half owned by the government.
So I think we're going to wrap this one up, huh?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. I think so TikTok banned for 12 hours. People lost their shit. Now it's back. And if the government gets involved, other people might lose their shit, but at least they have it in some.
I hope no one killed themselves over it. They might have.
Oh my God.
You're saying that, but I'm serious.
It probably will come out. I hate to, yeah. I know that during the shutdown, like a couple days into it, there were people already killing themselves.
Because they're just and even though they said it was probably going to be stopped, yeah, you need to call the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline if you're this bad. No judgment. I'm just saying, if you feel suicidal over this because you feel like everything you're going to be disconnected and it feels dystopian to you and all those things, call for help first of all.
Or you lost your job, basically.
Yeah.
That was your job and you lost it.
Call for help first of all, okay? Do that first. Then, understand that they did stop it temporarily. Hopefully it gets to stay stopped, but you're going to have to find some other outlets just in case. But nothing is worth killing yourself over because of TikTok. So it's like, if people are going to be that, that attached. I know it sounds crazy to us. I know it does. In some people's worlds, it is the worst case scenario. So don't do anything stupid and call for help. I hate to have to even bring that up, but it's true.
It's true. Like I said, I know firsthand of some people that just, a couple days into the shutdown, they were hopeless and they.
I know. The mom and teacher me don't want to see that happen. So I might not agree with you. You might hate me, and that's fine. But I don't want to see you dead.
All right. So we're going to wrap it up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.